Hi crypto kings and queens, welcome to my channel. My name is Natalie. In today's episode, I will show you how we can combine US dollar currency index together with Bitcoin and Ethereum, because these two are correlating against each other, which is really good. So I've started to analyze the DXY charts. I got two Fibonacci levels that I wait for the market to come back down to create a higher low. And if the dollars need to come back down for a pullback, that means that Bitcoin and Ethereum also need to do a pullback, which means that we also have two levels on both Ethereum and Bitcoin with the Fibonacci levels where we expect the market to pull back up to create a lower high. I do have one smaller Fibonacci level and one on a higher time frames, and these are combined with the DXY chart. Don't forget that I am no financial advisor. You need to look up everything yourself first, but please continue looking at this video and I'll show you how we can combine these charts together. And I will also do a little recap of what we did yesterday on New York Sessions live stream, because I had some great trades who went to take profit. Hi crypto kings and queens, we're looking at Ethereum and we're gonna start off with the daily chart. We can see that the market gave us yesterday a inverted hammer going back in time. This is also a previous support where you've seen the market been a lot of times before. We could potentially see the market breaking to the upside now to fill this wick. What we're gonna do is that we drag a fib from high to low. The 50% is just combined with the previous support that we did break. Going to the 4-hourly chart, what we can do is to identify the downtrend. So we're dragging a trend line just to see what the market is doing, and we are still below the trend line. Two scenarios can happen. Either we see the break of this resistance trend line, you see a potential retest and slowly see the market working itself up to potentially 2,600. From this level, based on market structure, we can expect the market to have a drop to the downside. The target for me is around 1,900 because this is the overall Fibonacci level that we do have on the weekly. The second scenario is that if we see the market now come back down to the support at 2,200 and we see a potential retest, this could also be the rally back down to 1,900, potentially also see the market continue back even more. We focus on what's happening inside the support, inside the resistance. Do we break the market to the upside to come back up to the higher time frames level where the lower high can be expected for the drop, or do we see the market breaking the support and then retest and see the drop from here? So my question to you is, what do you believe will happen today on Ethereum? We will start off, we're looking at the XY. So this is the dollar currency index, and when the index goes down, Bitcoin and Ethereum goes up, and when the index goes up, Bitcoin and Ethereum goes down. So these two correlate against each other. So one really good thing that we can do if you're trading BTC against USD, we analyze the chart on DXY and then we go to Bitcoin and the Ethereum chart and just see how we combine these two together. Zoom out to see the whole picture on DXY. We can see that we are creating a high right now, and this is also where we've been as before. And from this level before, we saw the market break to the downside. So this doesn't have to happen, but what we can identify at the moment is that we just might potentially see the market now giving us a pullback. So the pullback, how I calculate the pullback right now is that I am taking the previous high that we did have at 103.660, and we saw the market try to break this level a couple of times, but we always failed it. So usually what you can see is that you see a breakout, retest, and then a continuation. But based on that, we see the market right now coming back down and closing below the resistance. This just might be the beginning of the pullback back down to the Fibonacci level that I did take on the daily chart. So what I did was that I took my Fibonacci from 100.362 to the high around 103.943. So if we start to see the market pull back down now, so we could potentially come back down to 102.020 and 101.620. So if we see the market now pulling back down to these levels only for it to create a higher low, potentially we just might also see a drop back down to 100.400. 0.45, but these are the first levels that I look for the market to come back down to. Okay, so now when we understand what's going on the US dollar currency, we go to the Bitcoin chart, and by looking at the previous daily candlestick that we did close with an inverted hammer, and an inverted hammer means that the market could potentially break to the upside, because this is also against 3,370, which is also a key level, and key levels is where you can see the market bouncing between. going back in time, you can also see that this level is very respected since before. We just go back, you can see that this has been a support many times, so I am not surprised that the market comes to this level to create a lower low, and now we just might see the market creating a potential lower high. That means the dollar currency goes down, Bitcoin goes up, and this kind of makes sense when we look at the technical analysis. So let us go down to the 4-hourly chart, and this was something that we talked about today on my morning live stream, which you also should be a part of every morning, 8 a.m., 1 hour before London session. I do have my morning live streams where we just look at the overall from last day, what could potentially happen today, and I spoke about that we could probably break this resistance trend line and then start to see the market pulling back to the upside based on the candlestick that we see since yesterday, the inverted hammer. So, and what we also can do is drag the Fibonacci from the previous high at 39,665 to the low at 30,062. That gives us the Fibonacci levels 34,847 and 35,985. We can also look at the previous lower high on the lower time frame. So we drag a fib from 34,777 to the same low, and the 50% is just combined with the key level that we have at 32,370. So we just might see the market pull back up to these levels and potentially 32,964. If this is where we start to see the market breaking to the downside, this could definitely be where the market is retesting and creating the lower high, and then you can see the market bounce to the downside. That kind of makes sense when we look at the DXY dollar. What we also can do on a DXY is that we drag a Fibonacci from the last low to the high. That gives us other Fibonacci levels around 103.300 and 103.104. So these two, this Fibonacci level that we do have on the 4-hourly chart combined with the Fibonacci level on the 4-hourly chart, but we also have the bigger Fibonacci level on the daily chart, which we also have on Bitcoin. So when we go back to Bitcoin, these two is just combined with the charter. So when we start to analyze the market, when DXY comes to its Fibonacci level, when Bitcoin comes to its Fibonacci levels, that's when we start to go down to the lower time frames and start to figure out what the heck is going on, what could potentially happen. And we just might now see the market pull back down on Bitcoin for a potential retest to where we are right now at 31,570, and potentially create a higher low, because we did break the resistance trend line, as you can see, created a higher high. The market just might come back down to create a higher low, and then see the market push back up to the first Fibonacci levels that we spoke about, that is from the 4-hourly. And from these levels we could definitely expect the market, or at least we start to look at the market reversing back down from these levels. And everyone knows by now, if you've been following me for a while, you know exactly what I look for. I look for the market to break the support trend line, which represent the pullback. I want to see the market breaking the pullback, create a lower high, lower low, for then come back up to create a lower high, and that's where I sell the market. But if we start to see the market continue to the upside, so the market doesn't care about these Fibonacci levels, and you see DXY having a bigger break to the downside, and you see Bitcoin pushing more to the upside, that's when we're looking at 34,560 and potentially 35,982. And you know exactly what we look for from these levels. That is the exact same thing. So when the market comes to these levels, we want to see the market break the support trend line, create the lower low, for us to be able to, for me to be able to sell the market at the lower high, and then set my take profits, my stop loss, and then just see whatever happens to Bitcoin. So I just want to go through a little bit on what we did on yesterday's New York session, and this was really good, even though I am no financial advisor. But you could see that the market came back up and retested my Fibonacci levels. Target 3 on waves got hit today. Same thing with AR, we saw the market come back up to the Fibonacci levels. Every point looks the same, but target 3 also got hit on AR, which is really good. We came back up to the same Fibonacci level, and we saw the market bounce back down again from it. So this is a very respected level that we can see on AR. Looking at EJLD, the same thing happened. We saw the market came back up and activated our trade at 113. This was also a super great trade. Looking at Solana, exact same thing. Can you see how perfectly the market came back up and activated? I didn't take this trade, but the market came back up to the 50% and just, you know, slammed to the downside. We almost got take profit profit 3, but the market is still active, obviously. And yeah, we just might see the market pull back down or not now, depending on also how Bitcoin and the XY is moving. But when market take profit 1 and take profit 2 and almost take profit 3, we're moving my stop loss potentially to take profit 1, so I'm always in profit. Okay, so we do a little recap on Ethereum too. This was also something that we were obviously talking about in today's live stream. We saw the market creating the W formation, and this was also something that I spoke about. We have the W formation. We didn't come back down to the support. There was something that I did expect the market to do potentially, but it didn't. But we did create a higher low, so we are now breaking the resistance trend line, and the overall target that I could potentially see Ethereum coming to right now is at the 50% that we do have on the daily Fibonacci at 2,600. And going to the lower time frames now, we can go to the 15 minutes chart. What I also did was that, just because I want to see how the market is moving, I took a Fibonacci from 2,358 to the high at 2,440, and that gives me Fibonacci levels 2,398 and 2,388. And from these levels, I do expect the market to create a higher low and then see the market slowly pushing to the upside. So because we did break the resistance trend line, we did create a higher high, we just might have the market creating a small lower low, a higher low right now. But just based on the Fibonacci levels and always back testing and see what the market is doing while it's live, it's always good to do this to potentially see if, you know, I'm right and see the market push to the upside. So we're just waiting for the market to pull back and then see if we actually reach these higher levels based now that we also look at the XY and trying to combine the move together with each other. So I was in sell position on both Bitcoin and on Ethereum, but I took myself out from it after today morning's live stream. I took myself out at the low right here. I did have my take profits slightly below or down at the support, but I closed my position, so I am not inside any trades right now. But this is also one good thing, is that when we see the market actually reversing, try not to be stubborn. And this is also for myself, because sometimes it can be really hard, but when we just try to take away the emotions and actually see for what it is, you actually get rewarded by that, not just by me taking out the positions that I have still in profit, but also trusting yourself that what you look at the charts is actually true. So try to practice this, guys. It's really good. Don't forget that you can also receive a bonus on BYBIT up to $4,050 by using the link in the description down below the video. You have it somewhere here in the corner too. You are supporting me and Bitcoinsensus by doing that. So claim this bonus on BYBIT up to $4,050. Thank you so much, guys, for looking at this video together with me. I hope you did enjoy how we can combine the XY together with Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think it's really good for myself when I analyze the chart. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification so you know when I am live next time. I will have a later live stream today at the end of New York session, so please be a part of that. And I just want to see all of the new people that subscribe to my channel and welcome you. Otherwise than that, as always, I wish you'll have a super great day and trade with risk management always. Toodles!